The world is full of fabulous cities. More than 10,000 cities make up this colorful world, with each bringing its distinct character and charm. Some are centuries old, boasting exquisite craftsmanship of ancient artisans and thriving today thanks to the dedication of contemporary residents seeking to preserve their hometown history by maintaining landmarks in the world's most beautiful museums and opening historic hotels. Others are more youthful in spirit, with communities bringing new ways of living, from how we design to how we dine to the technologies we use, to the forefront. And then there are the countless cities featuring some of the most beautiful gardens in the world. You can spend a lifetime visiting the greatest cities in the world and still not see them all. But when it comes to international cities, not all were created equal. The world has an upper echelon of city environments that set the bar for the rest of the world. The best cities to visit are often home to some of the world's most iconic sites and are found around the globe, from Asia and Europe to the Middle East and the Americas. For travelers hoping to find inspiration for their next trip, here is a list of 5 of the top cities in the world to visit. Number 5. Venice. In a city as filled with tourist attractions as Venice, it's hard to know where to begin. Perhaps the best way is to simply get lost for a few hours wandering through its enchanting little streets and passageways, strolling beside its canals, and finding its secret corners. At every turn, you'll see something worth remembering with a photo. No matter where this exploration takes you, it's easy to find your way back to Piazza San Marco and the Grand Canal. Most of the best sites you'll want to visit lie around these two landmarks. Venice is divided into 6 sesteri, neighborhoods that have distinctly different characters. San Marco is the central one, surrounded on 3 sides by a great loop in the Grand Canal. Across Rialto Bridge is the artisans' neighborhood of San Polo, and across the Grand Canal to the south is stylish Dorsoduro, with its prestigious art museums and lively squares. At the outer edges are Santa Croce, Castello, and Cannaregio, home of the original ghetto. Beyond the 6 sesteri, neighborhoods, of the city itself, you'll want to hop aboard a vaporetto to its islands, Lido, Murano, Burano, and Torcello. A 4th island, San Giorgio Maggiore, is worth visiting for the beautiful views of San Marco and Venice from the tower of its church. St. Mark's Basilica, certainly Venice's best-known church, and one of the most easily recognized in the world. St. Mark's Basilica was originally the Doge's private chapel, decorated with Byzantine art, treasures that are part of the booty brought back by Venetian ships after the fall of Constantinople. St. Mark's Square, the vast expanse of Venice's largest square, is brought together and made to seem almost intimate by the elegant uniformity of its architecture on 3 sides. But more than its architectural grace, St. Mark's Square, Piazza San Marco, is loved as Venice's living room, the place everybody gathers, strolls, drinks coffee, stops to chat, meets friends and tour guides, or just passes through on the way to work or play. Visitors arriving in Venice once stepped ashore under the facade of this extraordinary palace. They couldn't have failed to be impressed, both by its size and the finesse of its architecture. One of the things Venice is famous for is its carnival celebrations, which take place about 3 weeks before Ash Wednesday and Lent. Masks are an emblem of the Venetian carnival. Back in the day, masks protected your identity and social status, meaning people from different social standings could socialize with each other without being judged. There are around 10 different types of Venetian masks, but the most common are the Arlecchino, Botta, Colombina, Naga and Pantalone. Doge's Palace. A local guide will take you beyond the lines and explain the history and art in each of the dazzling rooms before leading you across the Bridge of Sighs and into the infamous prison. On the other side of Rialto Bridge is the busy food market, where Venetians and chefs shop for fresh produce and seafood. In the narrow streets of San Polo, beyond the market, are artisan shops and mask-making studios, one of the best places for shopping. Number 4. Lisbon. Lisbon is called the City of the 7 Hills due to its location, as it was built on 7 sloping hills, which gave it a unique and strategic location. The capital, Lisbon, is the largest city in Portugal, famous for its ancient historical monuments, as it includes many museums, palaces, and ancient castles, as well as wonderful parks. One of the most important tourist places in Lisbon, Portugal, and the sites worth visiting São Jorge Castle is a Moorish-style castle that occupies a hilltop overlooking the historic center of Lisbon and the Tagus River. The strongly fortified castle dates back to the Middle Ages of Portuguese history, and it is one of the most important tourist attractions in Lisbon, as it was the seat of the ancient main power of Portugal for more than 400 years. The Padrão dos Descobrimentos monument is one of the most important tourist attractions in Lisbon, Portugal. It is located along the northern bank of the mouth of the Tagus River, in the civil parish of Santa Maria de Belém, in the Portuguese city of Lisbon. The length of this monument is more than 50 meters. This place was carefully chosen to erect this monument, as it was in the past the center from which ships departed to the east and west to make discoveries. The commercial square in Lisbon, Praça do Comércio, as the Portuguese people call it, is the most famous commercial square in the city and is located on the edge of the mouth of the Tagus River. Lisbon Tourism. The Santa Justa lift is a 19th-century elevator that takes passengers up a hill from Baixa to Largo do Carmo with a stunning view of the ruins of the Carmo Church. The Belém Tower is one of the most important tourist attractions in Lisbon, Portugal, and it is a fortified tower located in the Santa Maria de Belém region, about 2.5 kilometers from the municipality of Lisbon, Portugal, and due to the important role it played in Portuguese maritime discoveries through the ages, this tower has become a heritage site UNESCO World. The museums in Lisbon are a strong symbol of authentic history and a prominent documentation of previous civilizations. If you are fond of exploring precious archaeological exhibits, be sure to visit the Lisbon museums. Each street in Lisbon has many characteristics that give everyone who visited it a feeling of astonishment and leave indelible memories. After it was the residence of kings and rulers, the Lisbon palaces are used today to highlight the cultural identity of the city and to attract many people to tourism in Lisbon. These palaces were built as amazing residences at an excessive cost and are characterized by distinctive architecture that makes visiting it a dream for many. Number 3. Amsterdam. Iconic canals, centuries-old townhomes, cobblestone lanes and flower-adorned bridges. Amsterdam is as pretty as a postcard with charm and spades. It's also one of the rare places that attracts history buffs, luxury-minded travelers, couples seeking romance and backpackers alike. Besides its cultural attractions, such as the Anne Frank House and the Concertgebouw, the Dutch capital has leafy parks, hip shops and an enduring sense of the past that thankfully never fades. With world-class museums, bicycle tours, and a thriving art scene, it's really just a matter of culling it down to a select few activities. The wandering around the quaint streets and sitting outside at the sidewalk cafes is so appealing, we wouldn't try to cram too much into your daytime itinerary. On the F&B front, this burgeoning culinary mecca boasts world-class restaurants that make every meal a gourmet adventure. When the sun goes down, there's no shortage of things to do either. Think cozy speakeasies, bustling bars, and plenty of nightclubs. Lastly, you can't talk about Amsterdam without mentioning coffee shops, and not the kind that strictly brew espresso. Amsterdam is one of the greatest small cities in the world. From Amsterdam canals to world-famous Amsterdam museums and historical Amsterdam sites, it is one of the most romantic and beautiful cities in Europe. Canal cruises are a popular way to see the city from the perspective of its canals. Amsterdam is also a city of tolerance and diversity. It has all the advantages of a big city: rich culture, lively Amsterdam nightlife, international restaurants, good transport, but is quiet, and largely thanks to its extensive canals, has a little road traffic. In the city your destination is never far away, but get a bike for an authentic local experience. Museums are the main tourist attraction in Amsterdam. Everyone knows the Rijksmuseum, Van Gogh Museum and Stedelijk Museum, but there is much more. Amsterdam has over 70 museums which attract millions of visitors each year. See our suggested itineraries to explore these attractions. Number 2. London. London is famous as the City of Dreams, as it contains many imaginary places that many would like to visit and enjoy spending time in. Once you arrive in London, you will notice some means of transportation for tourism, such as the bus. You can sit upstairs and watch the landmarks of London through it. The bus provides you with a headset and several languages to learn the landmarks of London through it. The bus will take you to see some of the famous archaeological sites such as Big Ben and other landmarks. Then it will take you to the most famous landmarks of London, or the London Wheel, through which you can see the entire London landmarks. It is a favorite destination for tourists. Definitely you can try food on the streets of London. London is one of the ancient cities that witnessed many wars and many kings. Modern London was formed on many of the ruins of Old London, and few archaeological monuments remain that show the features of the old life that London lived and extended to the 21st century. Through one of the most famous landmarks of London, we can see how castles were one of the symbols of ancient London, such as the Tower of London, built in 1078 by William the Conqueror. It served as a strategic defensive headquarters. We can see many similar castles which were also used as prisons at many times. There are also other aspects of London that show its wealth, such as Buckingham Palace, which was established in the year 1837, and the Palace of Westminster, Westminster Abbey, which dates back to 960 to 970 AD. Many famous kings and writers were buried there, and it is a very big attraction for London because of its civilization and history. There is no doubt that London is one of the target tourist destinations for many people, and you can find out why once you arrive and see the historical monuments and how it has preserved its 2,000-year-old splendor. London is distinguished by its tradition and contemporary art that goes with all eras. You can walk around London to find everything in front of you: wide roads, distinctive pubs, historical and cultural landmarks linking art and politics. You can during your wandering see Big Ben, see Parliament, and you can take some pictures with the most famous members of Parliament while wandering in front of it without any guard, and picnic in the gardens and attend amazing modern parties and shows. That is why London is considered the most beautiful city. Number 1. Paris. Paris is unarguably one of the most beautiful cities in the world, the capital of France, of art and of fashion. There are 1,000 things to do and see in Paris, and however much time you have here, it won't be enough. Climb to the top of the Eiffel Tower, stroll down the Champs-Élysées, visit the Louvre, see many shows and exhibitions, or simply wander along the banks of the Seine in French in the Tuileries Garden and quite simply take the time to experience the Parisian way of life. Stepping into this whirlwind that takes you from frenzy to romanticism will leave you with enduring memories. You will be much more proficient in French, you will become aware of your ability to communicate in the language of Molière. Often considered the world's most beautiful city, Paris is definitely among the most stylish and sophisticated. It's the capital city of France, and it holds a fascinating place in history for its politics and art. Paris is also known for food, fashion, love, cinema, cafes, perfume, and more. Paris may be the city of lights with important art and fashion houses, but it also has quaint corners, cobbled streets, and cozy bakeries. Whatever your idea of beauty, Paris has it. The Eiffel Tower was completed in 1889, much to the horror of many Parisians, but now it's a source of pride as well as an iconic landmark. Visitors can take an emotional ride to the top with exceptional views of the city from every floor as you ascend and descend. The gorgeous Musée d'Orsay once served as a Beaux-Arts-style railroad station. Now it holds an incredible collection of French Impressionist paintings, furniture, sculptures, and photography, dating from 1848 to 1914. The Sainte-Chapelle is a stunning chapel with glorious stained glass windows built by Louis IX in the mid-13th century. It was the center of his royal residence, the Palais de la Cite, and housed the relics of the Passion of the Christ. 15 glass panels in a huge rose window combine to create a wall of light inside. It's truly magnificent. Yachting the Big Water Lilies masterpieces by Claude Monet. The Arcade de Triomphe was ordered by Napoleon I to commemorate his victories and now is a symbol of French nationalism. The adjacent terrace gives wonderful views of the city and avenues. Each evening, the flame of the tomb of the unknown soldier is lit. The Louvre Museum is another French icon and holds many of Europe's most important paintings including Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. It's considered the greatest and richest art museum in the world, and the most visited, with works of art from almost every age and time.